Alive. Hello. Just bring that down a bit. Hello. Billy. Come and say hello. Billy Cam. Billy Cam. Hello. Billy's here as well. Are you good? You're a good boy. Hello, viewers. Welcome back. Stream number 29, which is strange to think that that's how many weeks concurrently that these have gone out for. So that's nice. I'm sorry about the clicking extruder next to me. It's getting really annoying already. I might even try and seal some of the noise inside there. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good week. I've been out. But just taking a short break. It's school report writing time. Sorry, the dog wants it's insufficient fuss for the dog. It is school report writing time. So the dog is very used to just hanging around by the desk while I'm writing reports. But it also means that there's not been a lot of work happening in here, with the exception of 3D printing. Since the printer is back online, there has been a lot of printing going on. Basically because the printer broke, like I said in the last stream, at the absolute worst time. Because my students are printing their projects, they're doing some CAD in Tinkercad, and it just means needing to print their stuff, plus also needing to print the things for my other classes as well. So my year 8s will be getting these this week. This is their weekly 3D printed abomination. Quite a lot of stringy on this one, but these are little fish phone holders. So they're getting those. One of my son's friends is having a birthday soon, and I've been requested a Pokemon. So here he is. This is one of the young chap's favourite Pokemon. So I've done that. And then the rest has really just been. In fact, I've got stuff in the house that I was meant to bring in, and I didn't bring it in. But the rest has been taken up with these. These are marble mazes. So this is the assignment that my year 7 class have been working on. They have to make a marble maze. So some of them are very detailed. Some have, I won't show the writing on this one. Someone's put their name on the top there. Some of them have got like hidden traps. Some of them are extremely difficult to do. So they've been busy doing marble runs, and that means that I've got 4 on the go in here, and with these 6, that's 10. That's just under half, or just over half the class, which would also mean if anyone in the class is watching, where is your marble run or your marble maze, because it should be in by now. But there you go. That's what's been happening. I'm just going to get up and move things about a little bit because there's a lot of mess happening. I also did some modification on the JAWS controller, so it was looking a little bit tired and sorry for itself. So I've done that just to look a bit nicer. And thanks to Aussie Matt, who's been helping me out with the mix to hopefully get JAWS up and running. I will go and fetch JAWS so I can show you where it's at, because it's tantalizingly close. It's really, apart from paint, there's one part left to make. Oh, and I want to modify. I want to modify this part, but I'll get to that. I'll go get it. So here it is, with a clamp and everything attached. I'll put this over here so you can kind of see it. And I'll just sort of run the camera down. So what's new? Okay, this handle has been cut to size. The chain, which is as accurate a chain as I can get, has been attached. This was a piece of PVC pipe that I'm going to spray silver to be like the aluminium type bag clip. I do not have any way of making an outer bag that would match the film with Stanley written on it. So this red Kirby bag is just going to be a stand-in. I have put the wood grain effect on the Kirby handle. So now I've got the wooden part of the handle that I need to do. I need to drill the hole through for the cord hook bolt. I also need to attach the cord hook on the other side, and I will need to drill a matching hole down here, because the cord hook on Jaws is on the bag side. The cord hook traditionally is on this side on this model of Kirby, but this isn't the model of Kirby they use to make Jaws. The last part that actually needs to be made or fabricated is this part, and I was asking, well, I tried to ask, I think I may have, I've probably outstayed my welcome on the Kirby enthusiasts Facebook group, basically because, oh, hello, because lots of my, Billy's upset about something. What? What? What's the matter? Because lots of my posts are not necessarily about Kirby's directly, because there's been a lot of posts about this. But I was asking, should I make a light that will fit here so this thing can drop down and it will look like it's meant to look? Or do I make a light that looks like it does in the film, where this is actually sort of raised up like that and it's quite an oversized thing that doesn't really fit very well? That's more screen accurate. But part of me just wants to make it all fit together and not have any wires and things showing. So I'm not sure what to do there. So that's my my dilemma at the moment. This is meant to sit in a little light housing in here, 3D printed, with quite a large lens on it. But I don't know. It looks like in the film they've cut up some, a couple of torches and sort of bodged that on. So I'm not really sure. It could be that there are people in the laneway, or it could be that I'm about to have a visitor. I'm not sure. If there's someone at the door though, I'm sure they will walk through any minute. So yeah, I even sort of toyed with the idea of, do I get, a light like this and try and bodge it in there like that. But the issue I'm having is trying to mount it to the two little lugs here, so I can print this part and get it fairly well fitting. But it's trying to adapt it so it actually goes on here is my big issue, because there's a lip here that it needs to sit on top of, but then it also needs a part down underneath that sort of comes out either side. And I'm just not that good at CAD yet, so I can do Tinkercad all right, but getting that curve is beyond my Tinkercad expertise. And so I'm trying to do it in Fusion 360 with limited success, but I'm also trying to not do it when I should be writing school reports, because everyone is making so many sacrifices for me to be able to write my school reports without the need to, without needing to stress about it. So it's a little bit disjointed at the moment. I'm kind of coming out and doing this as a break. But I think by Christmas it should be done. I'm going to say, because really it's only that part. And then this bit, I was thinking of just getting some double-sided tape or some Velcro or something for attaching this. But then I thought to myself, maybe a small. Well, then again, I guess being able to take that off with some Velcro would be handy. That way, if you needed to get to things, or you're going to take the front off, you can pull that off. I think my phone's buzzing. I'm just going to double check. Someone might be trying to get in touch. No, it's a comment on my other video, but thank you very much for the comment about Billy reacting to his favourite words. Like, Billy, what are you doing? What are you doing? There's no room to get in now, is there? Is that Jaws? Oh, there you are. Hello. So it's probably not going to be a very long stream, but that's kind of where we're at. The handle part, that's what I could show, but again, I don't have all the pieces here. This top of this handle has been reprinted many times now. In fact, I'll take it off. So here's the top of Jaws now. Originally, I had planned to use 25mm aluminium tube in here, or 22mm, but then I realized there is no 22mm tube. That would be very prohibitively expensive to try and source. And then I still needed to find some hand grips that would go on it. So I did start thinking, well, maybe there are some hand grips that are available to print, which aren't perfect, but they're pretty accurate. And I can print them in black PETG, so they'll stand up to the weather. So I printed those, and then I printed one, and then I scaled it down to fit this 16 millimeter conduit. So once I got that done, then what I realized is I could actually make this piece much narrower. Originally, this was about 50 millimeters thick, and it really stood out on the front of the machine. And originally, I had a back piece that had a big cutout, and I was just going to glue in the piece of wood behind there. Then, as it got down to 25 millimeters and down to 20 millimeters, which I think is the outside diameter of this, I realized that, well, I could make this whole thing about 25 mil, and I could leave a cutout for the 19 millimeter pine to slide in, and then put a couple of screw holes in it so it kind of looks a bit uniform. A couple of screw holes to go into the conduit, and then I could just slide on the handles, because all this is going to be painted silver anyway, and then the handles are just black and will slide on. I have also noticed that this S isn't too inaccurate, but it is too big. It needs to be about, I'd say, about 25% smaller. Thing is, every time I reprint this, it's 7 hours of printing. Do I really want to do that again? Especially when I've got all the prints going that I need to? I'm not sure. At the moment, I'm just going to go with it as is. So that's how it be going. I don't think I've got it out here. Let me have a look. Here's its output. It is not out here at all. So that's no good. I'm going to quickly try and put this back not quickly, I'm going to carefully try and put this back without breaking anything. That would be a disaster. In fact, here they are. So, yeah, I'll point it down at the bench so I can show the different variances of this design process. And that way, if there are any of my students watching, they'll know that I'm not just joking about here. So you might want to know what's going on with that one. And then that one. So in my research for this prop, one of the things that was prominent was an octagonal top on the handle with a T-piece through for dual handles. And I guess that's to make the vacuum not look like a Kirby. In doing that, I did eventually discover there is a polygon tool in Tinkercad. So what I plan to do is just have a hole, a piece where the timber could, just sort of slot in there, glue it on, whatever needed to be, paint it silver. No one needs to know any different. So I did that, and that print was 18 hours with a big chunk of supports as well. And I wasn't, it was okay. I printed it in silver PLA, but it just looked really chunky. And this was also too big. I'd made this too big. I thought this was 42 millimeter pine, which is a stock standard dimension for pine in Australia, but it wasn't. It was an offcut that was about 38 millimeters, so I had to scale it down. So what I did then is I started printing this one, but I also noticed when I looked at the some stills on YouTube that it was actually more of an elongated octagon. It wasn't symmetrical. Well, it was symmetrical, but it wasn't, what would you call it, a regular octagon. It was an irregular octagon. It had some sides were longer than others. And when I designed this, I designed everything around the sides all being long enough that this piece of timber could fit through there. So then I needed to go back to the drawing board and change that slightly Fortunately, in Tinkercad, you can ungroup things and then alter them and then regroup it, and it's not a big deal. So I went back, and the first thing I did, this one stopped because the filament ran out. It was meant to be the same size as this. Is that I decided what I would do is I would elongate it, so you can sort of see it's been squished in at the sides, stretched out, or at least squished in at the sides, and then this was made slightly short or slightly narrower, which meant the whole thing could be slightly narrower because of the wood it had to accommodate. And I also changed to a 25mm hole, but that would have been 25mm that would have coincided and sort of interfered with the pine. So I would have had to have sort of ground a channel out of the pine, which was just going to stick it on the sander and do that. After this ran out, I thought maybe this is an opportunity to rethink my design. And so what I had thought about initially is, instead of having to fill and sand and whatnot this part, and if anything ever happened to it, you've got to make a whole new handle. What if I could do it so that this back piece was seamless, so that it had an all-in-one back? And then at this time, I also realized that 25mm aluminium pipe wouldn't necessarily give me scope to put on bicycle hander grips that I was going to do. So then I thought about it, and I thought, well, what if I could make something where the wood would be able to go into a channel? It'd be sealed front and back, so I could put it on center. I could still have a hole for something thinner, and I thought about the conduit, so I measured that and started to put the hole in there, and then do the holes for some screws, and that way it would look a little bit chunky and a little bit industrial. Fortunately, trying to get this off the print bed with the thwacker, patent pending, I broke it, hitting it with a 3D printed mallet. So then I had to go back to the drawing board and start again. So that's when this one was born, and this one has worked out okay. Although, like I say, this S should be, it's kind of got tapered ends on it. It's kind of, I'm not very artistic like this. This will probably be the time that I stuff it up. But it's really meant to just be a sort of, it's really meant to be quite a, it's really meant to be more like that, whereas this has got the sort of curved to a point on it. So, and it should be much smaller. It probably should be closer to that size on there. So if I decide to reprint it, or if something happens, I think what I'll do is I'll go back and edit the model, and I will change the S to a more accurate version, because I think there's only 4 fonts in Tinkercad anyway. I'll change it, and if anything ever happens to this, I will reprint it. It's been so windy again today. It's been 100km/h winds. I had to take down the roof of the trampoline before we lost it. Apart from school reports, I'm also trying to finish off a student's project. The student has finished the subject and since moved on to other things. We've got an open night coming up, and it would be really nice to have this project finished. It's a giant shoebox, so I'd love to paint it and get the stickers on it, but it's been no weather to be able to spray paint, and I just don't have the time to paint it with a roller. So unfortunately, it's probably going to go by undone. It'll get finished, but it won't get finished in time for the open night on Wednesday. And that's just what I'm going to have to deal with. I can't do anything else about it. Oh, lots of my stickers have come off there. What else? What else is new? I did have a new thing. There you go. A new thing arrived this week. Here's a new thing. It's a new stepper motor. Did I show this last week? Maybe not. I don't even think I've opened it. Have I opened it? No, I haven't. There we go. Let's open it. New stuff. I'm going to finish here and go back inside and finish my Year 8 reports. So here we go. Oh, there you go. Lovely new stepper motor. It's a Reality 4240, which is the same stepper motor. In fact, I need to give that one back. From when I thought the stepper motor was the problem, and it's turned out to be the cheap, nasty PTFE tubing. So yeah, that's it. I'd love to go to spend some time actually organising spares and things like that in here. Maybe even do a time lapse of that. What else? We got some feedback from the Vac Shack that somebody didn't really like Scott doing time lapses of cleaning, and I can understand that. People, especially it attracts a mainstream audience of autistic people who like to see what they want to see, and they would rather see vacuums being used all the time. And I totally am on board with that, but that wasn't really the purpose of the channel. It was really more about building confidence. So whether or not he's got a couple of vacuums to fix and give away. So maybe not a Chris Fix, who's it? Eric the car guy does Fix It Forward. I think that's probably the direction that he will wind up going in. But he might change his mind, and he's the boss, and he can do whatever he chooses to do. So what have I got left? I've got to, basically on Jaws, paint stuff, make one more piece, and it's not really much more in painting stuff if you've got another piece to make, because you might as well paint it all at the same time, and then work on getting a mix onto this. And Matt has given me a very good guide on what to do, and I'm still trying to learn enough stuff. I think I've set it up for the correct mode now, but I'm trying to get my head around what each of the functions is meant to do. His guide is very helpful. I'm just trying to learn other stuff at the same time, which is probably not helping, because everything on Jaws needs to be painted silver. These can stay black, but this has got to be silver. The pipe's got to be silver. That's got to be silver. The headlight cover's got to be silver, and the wooden arm's got to be silver. So there's no point in doing anything else until that can happen. That's just the way it is. What else is on the print? As soon as these 4 marble runs are done, a Makita anti-theft blue calibration banana is coming. Oh, I didn't measure. Where is my banana? How big is a 4240 stepper motor? Look, we can check it. We can check how much it is. It is approximately. It's approximately nearly 8 banana units. It comes up to the 8. The line for 8. So if I go down there, the line for 8 is it's kind of hard to see. The line for 8 there. So it's 8 banana units in length, and approximately, let's see. Oh, I should go from where the plug is. What's that? About 6 banana units in depth. And that would be, well, actually, no, in this dimension, it'll be smaller. It will be 5 banana units. So that plug really it adds an extra banana unit onto the size. So even this part that I've had to print, this is coming out for about 10 banana units there. That's the 10 mark. It's a bit sad that they don't fit on the rest of them. But yes, Mr. Fingers, it is on its way. In fact, I'd love to remix this and put your name on it or something. That'd be good. What else? I think that's kind of it. It's just really, as soon as school reports are done, I can move on. I got my teacher registration back, and it came back within an hour and 45 minutes, which says a lot about how streamlined the process is, but does give me some concerns as to how stringent the process is. You have to put in evidence of professional learning and your latest police checks and all that kind of stuff. It's got a working with children check in Australia. All that stuff has to go in, and you send it off and hope it comes back. And I sent it off at was it 10:30? I think it was. It was 10:40, and I had a message by 12:30 to say it had been approved. So I'm officially registered for the next 3 years. Hopefully I win the Cross Lotto and I don't have to teach that whole time. That'd be good. And if anyone's out there and can fix that for me, that would be great. But other than that, I think I might just quickly try and tidy up a little bit, because I have left the place in a bit of a mess. Just a mess of stuff. So if I can put some things away, that would be of benefit to everyone. Got all sorts of bits of wire and things I don't need. And the sooner I can get away from that clicking extruder, and it'll be clicking because that Capricorn tube will be not Capricorn. It's not Capricorn tube. That PTFE tubing will. Oh, that's dried flux on there. I can flux that one off. These away. Getting the brushes away. Putting the brushes away. I want a hanger for my thwacker. That's what I need, a thwacker hanger. Somewhere that you've always got to have somewhere to hang your thwacker. Well, here's all the iterations of 3D printed parts. It's not like it's just a straight, oh, you just jump into CAD and do it, because I'm not that smart. I had to figure it out. I'm not very good at it. That was the way it went. What's that? Oh, that's a regular 9X. Ergul. Oh, they're festive door trim bushings. That is. Oh, that's my Smoke Me a Kipper. I better put that up. That's one of Matt's early 3D prints. Earlier 3D prints, anyway. Well, like lots of us now, you probably look at some of your early work and go, "Oh, I could probably do much better than that." But hey, that's. But anyway, what else? Watch Maker's Muse with his repair and refurbishment of a plywood framed 3D printer. It was interesting. I thought it was interesting, but I know very little. But I found it interesting. Right. What's on that? Oh, that sticks of RAM and a USB. Oh yeah, there's the RAM expander for the Amiga. I should try that. See, I need bigger drawers again. There's a RAM stick. Roger RAM stick. I don't think I need a PCI USB slot, but you know, it might help. It's got an NECIC on it. So as viewership slowly dwindles away, right, some more tats I can get rid of. I think I kept some things because I thought, oh, wire will be handy, but sometimes you just keep stuff and it just turns out to be crap. You're better to throw it away. Don't keep little bits of stuff. Oh, that's right. See, that was going to be the out. So that's another 3D printed bit of jaws. It's quite a busy life inventing maniac vacuum cleaners. It's no easy task. No. I get a feeling I have to shove that in and I'm never going to be able to open that drawer again. Good to know. Extruder bits. A bag of resistors where the resistors have all fallen out, so that's handy. I'll get rid of the bag. That clicking is really annoying. I've got dice printing on the other thing because the Year 8's 3D printed abomination is meal dice to decide what meal to cook. But yeah, may as well just sort of put all the things that need to be painted together and see what actually happens. PCI Express. Well, I kind kind of think there's not really much else I can contribute to a conversation, everyone. So maybe it's time for me to bid farewell and let everyone else get on with their busy lives, because I'm a little bit out of what to say. I'm absolutely knackered. It was thundering and lightning throughout the night, and I'll just say it was thunder and lightning, and one of us did not deal with it very well. And one of us did an awful lot of barking from about 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. So, but the problem with that is that one of us is very tired because the other one just spent the rest of the day sleeping. Don't know who that is, do you? All right. So, oh, there we go. There's the view of the calamity that's out there. Also, I don't know what's going to happen next week. There'll be a stream. There'll be the 30th next week, provided all goes well. I'm not sure what's going to happen the week after because our bathroom renovation is due to start, and we're moving out. We have to move out for 10 days or however long it takes. So there might be an interruption, or I might be able to stream from where I'm staying somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'll go and sit in the garage and stream or something. Oh, that was the other thing. Look, I've got an injury. I had a workplace injury this week with a table saw. That's my workplace injury. And you might think, did I touch the saw? Did I, nick myself on it? Did I brush past it? That is not actually from the table saw. That's from the push stick. So our push sticks at work are basically, they are a stick. They are, I'll draw it. I'll go to my notepad here. I'll go down to my notepad. It's like Big Clive, but cheaper and worse. Our push sticks are a big stick. Then they're made of wood. And I like that. They are sacrificial. They are just there to be used as push sticks, right? So we have I think they're made of pine. It's sort of a stick like this. And then it's got like a... It's all nice and rounded off, right? And then there's sort of a little cutout on there. And you sort of push your wood like that. And the saw blade sort of up here, And I guess you're meant to grip the push stick. Now this is going to turn into an interesting art activity. You're meant to sort of grip it like this. See, sort of 2, 3, with your thumb, that way. Okay. I know. Wow. What? That's why I'm not an art teacher, right? You're meant to hold it like that. Sort of grip the actual stick part. The problem when you do that, I could steal this again. Oh, I've got a handle. I've got a thwacker handle to show you. Hold on. Here's a thwacker handle, right? The problem with sort of holding it like that, and I'll sort of turn it on the side, is that when you encounter resistance, that's the natural way it happens. Okay, your hand goes down. So to combat that, because it is a very big 12-inch saw, I was cutting thin strips for a very engaging activity. Yeah, he did. He was shouting at the sky a lot. So to counteract the natural tendency for it to slide down, that's a bad look. I had the push stick in my, basically resting on my hand. You can see where it's resting, right? And then gripping it like that. So I could, with the sort of, the sort of heel of my hand, I can push, and that's absorbing any of the resistance. So what happened is I was pushing through this direction, and being wood, the push stick's getting chopped up. It's cutting, 15mm thin pieces of wood on the fence side. So I'm pushing them through on the fence side, and it's fine. It's knocking through the wood, and either it has hit maybe a knot or something in this piece of pine, or I've had the push stick at too high an angle. So instead of being angled like that, it's up here being pushed through. And all I can think of is that the wood either got jammed or the push stick got hit by a tooth on a part that wasn't already cut, and it just shoved the end of the stick, which was already on my hand, into my hand, and so it just broke the skin. And so then it became occult safety, write an incident report, because I needed to go and get a Band-Aid for that, and have to fill in the online form, and you just think, oh yeah. All it was I was using a tool in the manner intended, and an accident happened. And the accident wasn't through carelessness; it was just through something that we hadn't accounted for. There we go. Here's some dice that I finished. Look, this is the dice. So this is mac and cheese, pork, roll again, pizza, chicken. So what do we want for dinner tonight? Chicken. So they're the start for my my year 8s, and I've got until Thursday to have 13 of them printed. So that was the injury ensued when my hand was back here, and my hand was already in contact with the thing, and it just shoved it harder into my hand until the skin gave way, and it's not bruised or anything, but that's my war wound from it. Made a hell of a noise. But yeah, interesting times. Oh, I'm going to have to go before that extruder clicks too much and it irritates the living daylights out of me. But I should let the hot end cool down on the ender first, and I don't think there's any other print runs to do for the thing. I just love that my students are lovely people. I just really wish that I could have all of the files by Friday, especially when the first lesson with them is on a Tuesday, and I remind them on the Tuesday and the Thursday and the Friday to please have their files done. And then by the following Tuesday, somebody says, oh, yeah, or by Wednesday, they say, oh, I've done my files. Can you print them? And you think by Wednesday night, then you need to print 16 hours worth of files to try and have it so they can do something with it on Thursday. There you go. The fun of 3D. We do have 3D printers at school, but you got to sit in the room with them while they're 3D printering, which isn't much fun. Okay, I am absolutely exhausted and rambling, so I'm going to leave it there. And Billy and I are going to go back inside and try and finish the design and tech reports. And that way I'll have 2 classes done today. And hopefully I can have another break tomorrow, which would be nice because people are being very kind and very helpful to do that. And also happy birthday to Gaz out there, who had a nice shindig going tonight. But that's it from me. I hope to have a video out that's not just the dog, but we'll see. I actually did record a video of doing the transmitter, but then I couldn't get the faceplate to go on. I didn't want it to look like I was thick, so I haven't put it out. But nice to see you, Matt. I hope you're well, and I'll talk to you later on. Bye, everyone.